Actually, I have one more piece of work to go through. Okay, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But again, this isn't being graded. Okay, it's just to try and show you what the impacts look like. All right. And again, just try in your notes. You should be able to get at least 4 things. And like I said, you can use high winds, or you can use the same type of weather more than once if you want. But then you should be, if you use high winds twice, it should have 2 different impacts. Okay. So again, just to try and get you thinking about the damages caused by these storms. All right. And on that note, we have to then try and prepare or predict hurricanes. Okay, so one last little subheading, preparation for hurricanes. All right, so countries have to try and prepare or predict what's going to happen. Okay, so the ability to prepare for or predict the impacts of tropical storms is difficult and relies mainly on how wealthy a country is. So we already touched on this with our keywords at the start. Okay, but it's very, it changes completely the impacts that a hurricane or a tropical storm will have on an area. So you don't have to write down that sentence, but this little subheading, and then you need to write this down: MEDCs and LEDCs. So I've put in bold where the M, the E, the D, and the C comes from. Okay, so MEDCs, these are these are more, that should say more economically developed countries. So these are richer. Okay, LEDCs, these are less economically developed countries, poor. So just change mess to more. Okay, so MEDCs are the wealthier countries. They're more economically developed. That means they're richer. Okay, whereas LEDCs then are less economically developed. So that is it in a very simplified version. Not every country in the world fits into these 2. The Bahamas is probably somewhere in between. We're not a poor country, but we're certainly not one of the richer ones. All right. Then in terms of preparation for hurricanes, we got a little table here. Now, the beauty of this is, I know it looks like a lot of writing, but if you know one side, the other side is just the opposite. So rich countries have excellent technology and satellites to help track and predict the storms. Poor countries, LEDCs, don't have the best level of technology and rely on updates from other countries. MEDCs has highly trained emergency services, army, nurses, doctors to help with the impacts. Okay, so they've got loads of emergency services, really, really good, firefighters, police, all that kind of stuff. Poor countries, the opposite, a severe lack of trained emergency services workers. Okay, so they lack all those skilled, trained workers. MEDCs, rich countries, have great communication systems to get early warnings to everybody. So they've got advanced communication systems that help spread the word really, really fast, okay, and effectively. LEDCs, poor communication systems, especially outside of cities, so especially in the rural countryside areas. Some people might never get a warning at all, okay? And then the MEDCs, the last one, usually have good food and medicine stores. So they usually have access to plenty of fresh water, food, medicines, all that kind of stuff. Whereas LEDCs, food and medicine shortages are common after storms. Okay, so excuse me. Again, the preparation really comes down, and prediction really comes down to how rich or poor a country is. Okay, and we need this table of things. Like I said, if you know one side, the other side is just the opposite. All right, so there's a lot of writing in there today. And that's why I'm just going easy on the assignments this week. You have a lot of notes to make. Next week we're going to continue on to look at prediction and preparation strategies, okay, and tracking hurricanes. That's our next move. All right. If there's any issues trying to get that YouTube video, please email me and I'll be able to send you the link. But you should be able to find it, I think. All right. So like I said, no assignment from today, but please make sure you get all those notes and that little video task completed. Good work.